Gabby Petito murder. Brian Laundrie's notebook confession revealed, I ended her life. Crime can happen anywhere. In many cases, it has been found that the killer, which is either the victim's friend or someone close. And something similar happened with Gabby. So, what is the whole story? Gabby Petito, who was she? Hello everyone, welcome back to Crime Point. We are back here again with a piece of interesting news. Today, we are going to inspect the case of Gabby Petito. So, let us look at this in a little detail. Watch the full video to know everything about it. She was a 22-year-old student from Long Island who had moved to Florida. The 22-year-old Long Island native went missing on September 11th after embarking on a cross-country trip with her fiancé, Brian Laundrie, in July. Her family became concerned about her whereabouts after Laundrie, age 23, returned to his parents' home in Northport, Florida, without Petito. So, what happened to her? Petito and her fiancé Laundrie packed up her 2012 Ford Transit van and went on a road trip to visit national parks in July 2021 as part of the social media van life movement. Petito was last seen in Wyoming's Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Parks. Along the way, they had stopped in Kansas, Colorado, and Utah. What was written in Brian Laundrie's confessional notebook about Gabby Petito's death? The contents of Brian Laundrie's notebook, which he left behind after his death and in which he confessed to killing Gabby, have been revealed. Brian Laundrie's final words are revealed in the first public glimpse of a confession he left in a notebook in the Florida swamp where he committed suicide last year. I ended her life, reads the note, which the FBI recovered on October 20th, 2021 from the Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park. I thought it was merciful because it was what she desired, but now I see all of my mistakes. I became terrified. I was taken aback. Laundrie claimed he killed Petito after she injured herself when she fell in Wyoming. From the moment I decided to take away her pain, I knew I couldn't go on without her, he wrote. Brian Laundrie's notes, in which he confessed to killing his fiancée Gabby Petito, have been made public. In a January press release, the FBI stated that Laundrie, who committed suicide, left behind a notebook containing written statements claiming responsibility for Miss Petito's death. On June 24th, an attorney for his parents, who are being sued by the YouTuber's family for her death, released copies of the notes, which appear to be smeared from water damage. The 23-year-old also stated in his notes that Petito was injured while the two attempted to cross a stream. She had a bump on her forehead, was freezing cold, and was begging for an end to her pain, he said. Patrick Riley, a lawyer for the Petito family, told People that Laundrie's claim that the killing was merciful and accidental is nonsense, adding he is writing a letter as if he wants people to feel sorry for him. Petito, age 22, was discovered dead in September in a remote area of Wyoming's Bridger-Teton National Forest, 8 days after her parents reported her missing, and 18 days after Laundrie returned alone from the couple's cross-country van road trip to his parents' Florida home where the two had lived. Her death was determined to be homicide by strangulation by a medical examiner. Laundrie's parents reported him missing in mid-September, shortly after he returned home and after the FBI and police named him a person of interest in Petito's disappearance. His remains were discovered in an area that had been previously underwater in Myakkahatchee Creek Environmental Park in Florida in October. Authorities determined he died as a result of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Stephen P. Bertolino, the lawyer for Laundrie's parents, wrote in a statement attached to the notebook scans, "Today, the Petito family's attorney, Patrick Riley, and I met with the FBI in Tampa to sort through and take possession of Gabby and Brian's personal belongings. This was a previously agreed-upon exchange that allowed both the Petitos and the Laundries to receive what belonged to their respective children. Brian's notebook was given to me as part of the property returned from FBI custody." Bertolino continued, "Although I have chosen to release the letter for the sake of transparency, I will not be commenting further because there are still proceedings pending in court. These are Brian's words." Petito's parents, Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt, filed a civil lawsuit in March against Laundrie's father, Christopher Laundrie, and mother, Roberta Laundrie, alleging that they knew their son murdered Petito before her body was discovered, kept his whereabouts secret after reporting him missing, and were making arrangements for him to leave the country. At the time, the Laundrie's attorney told them that the family was under no obligation to speak to law enforcement. They have filed a motion to dismiss the civil lawsuit, and a judge is expected to issue an order on the next steps within the next few weeks. Petito's mother filed a separate wrongful death lawsuit against the curator of Laundrie's estate in May. There's no set date for the trial. The Laundrie's attorney previously told that the wrongful death lawsuit was fully expected, adding that it will most likely not be defended and that the Petitos will have gained nothing more than a piece of paper that tells them what everyone already knows, that Brian was responsible for Gabby's death as indicated by the FBI. The 8 pages of handwritten notes sent by attorney Stephen Bertolino and credited to Laundrie provide some insight into the young couple's tragic deaths while on a cross-country road trip. Laundrie's writing describes his decision to take Petito's life after she allegedly suffered an injury while the two were camping at night. Laundrie mentions trying to keep Petito warm and awake while she was in extreme pain, but he makes no mention of trying to find her medical help. Laundrie says he couldn't go on without her after she died. The county coroner, who ruled Petito's death a homicide, revealed chilling details from the autopsy results in September. She was strangled with bare hands and died 3 to 4 weeks before she was discovered. He stated, "I found her barely breathing, gasping. She was freezing cold. We had just come from the scorching hot national parks in Utah. The temperature had dropped below freezing and she was drenched. I carried her as far as I could down the stream towards the car, stumbling and exhausted from shock when I realized I couldn't carry her safely." Gabby despised litterers, he wrote at the end of the letter. Laundrie's family sued in civil court. Nicole Schmidt, Petito's mother, had only 2 words for him: fed up. Petito's family has filed a civil lawsuit against the Laundrie family. The lawsuit claims that Christopher and Roberta Laundrie were aware of Petito's whereabouts, while authorities were pouring resources into a massive missing person investigation. Petito's parents, Joseph Petito and Nicole Schmidt, are seeking more than $30,000 in damages for the mental anguish they suffered as a result of the Laundrie's alleged deception. According to the March filing, Christopher and Roberta assisted Laundrie in concealing Petito's murder and were planning for him to flee the country. The suit also claims that instead of assisting Joseph and Nicole in locating their daughter, the Laundrie parents went on vacation with Brian and ignored Petito's family's pleas for help, and that in September, Roberta blocked Nicole's phone number and Facebook profile to avoid contact as Nicole sought answers about what happened to Petito. Christopher Laundrie and Roberta Laundrie engaged in extreme and outrageous behavior that, under the circumstances, goes beyond all possible bounds of decency and is regarded as shocking, atrocious, and utterly intolerable in a civilized community, according to the filing obtained by People. Laundrie's parents did not appear in court on Wednesday for a hearing. Several times during the hearing, Bertolino called the lawsuit baseless, claiming that his clients were asserting their Fifth Amendment right against self-incrimination. They did what most people would and should do, according to Bertolino. Bertolino told People in an email that accompanied the release of the notebook, "Although I have chosen to release this letter as a matter of transparency, I will not be commenting further as there are still proceedings pending in court." Hey, that's all for this video. Let us know in the comment box what should have happened in this video. I hope you liked it, and if yes, please like and share it with your friends. Also, if you want to watch more videos like this, then all you got to do is subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to watch more. Hey, we hope you have a great day, and thanks for watching.